happy day to release another album from someone I don't know that much about, but surprisingly has had quite a long music record. Let's take a look into it. Now or Never is the 8th studio album released by Kissel. It's really interesting for me to start so early in the year with a country album, and yet here we are. I don't know exactly what we're supposed to get entirely with January. I would always hope that it's a good kickoff for the year. In movies, not many really big winners come out in January. As far as music goes, I don't think we're really going to experience tons of duds, but at the same time, you never really know, and I get to try and explore as much music as I try to. In this case, one of the first and newest albums that came out in the year. This is not one that totally convinced me that I wanted to do more country album reviews, but I will probably be doing it all the same because I think there's a couple of good ones coming up. Nevertheless, we have this album. I've put in some time. Now I get to share it with you. This is one of those albums where I feel like it has a good place. And it's got good enough ideas, but it does drag on a little bit. And before I continue any further, I'm talking about this album. I don't have any prior strong knowledge about this artist. If there is an album, and there's many prior to this one, any album that you think is better or one that's definitely worth checking out, let me know down in the comments below. I'm open to it. Please, I'm okay with that. It felt like it was trying to give a little bit of, not old school country, but maybe a decades throwback kind of country music, while trying to somewhat keep in mind what modern country listeners are listening to. So it is kind of a struggle of a sound. I can understand that. Even for me, someone who still is just like, I think I know good country music when I hear it, but that doesn't mean I listen to it that frequently. But in this case, I'm just not super impressed by what I am provided here. I'm going to try and provide some comments on some of the songs in here, but I can't promise that I'm going to have as much depth as maybe you would like for me to try and give my reasonings for not being a big fan of the album. The song Drink About Me, it's not bad, it's just blandly forgettable. A few good stories, the production's a bit scratchy. It just kind of got a little, like right here. That would get old after a while. It just would. Don't tell me it wouldn't. It would. Young Enough, this one does have good road trip energy. I'm going to give it that. I'm not really making too much of a recommendation on it, but maybe this might be something that someone would like on this album. If you're looking for that road trip energy, check this one out. The song Hummingbird in here does seem like it's the most complete song in this album. However, I don't have too much of a connection with it. I can hear what is in this song, but there's not much of a grasp that could remain with me to be able to want to revisit the song. A song called I'm Not Him, I'm Not Her that features Christine Taylor. This one is fairly solid. However, along with the message, I get it. However, the execution itself could be better. There's plenty of things in here that are not bad, but that's not the way that I want to introduce or talk about this album. I want to talk about great highlights. There are some things in this album that I think some country music fans will admire. I don't think there's anything to overly praise about it, and I don't expect many to. But that doesn't mean that someone isn't going to enjoy this more than I did. Especially if you've followed him this long, you're probably going to find something in this album to like a lot more than I did. And that's okay. For now, this isn't the country album that I hope that I would be able to listen to in 2020, but we still have more than 11 months to be able to find that. So, it's okay. So, let's move on. So after having listened and reviewed this album, with production of 84%, Creativity, 75%. Expression and lyrics, 78%. I'm going to give this album a good/okay. This is just going to happen in the year, even if it happens really early in the year or at the very end of the year. People have their preferences, and I am sharing mine. If he can stay in the game through an 8th album, I think he's going to be okay despite my review. So keep at it, man. Again, if there is one of those albums or any particular song that you think is really great, please let me know down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to follow all the social media down in the description below. Please subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff, so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time. I wonder if it would be weird if I got a cowboy hat, or just a country hat. Whatever people are calling them these days. I don't know. I used to have one. Great-grandpa. Yeah, it was fun wearing that one. It's a cowboy one's for Halloween. Is that weird for you? I don't care.